Hey guys, Wise Gamer here. Today I'm bringing you another indie game review. This time I'm covering The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, which is a new DLC that came out in October of 2015 for Binding of Isaac. Binding of Isaac itself is an indie game that's made by Edmund McMillen and Florian Hilms. Edmund McMillen, you guys might recognize the name. He's from the popular game Super Meat Boy, so another hit for him with Binding of Isaac, and really there's a long history of the game. It kind of went from like a Flash game into Binding of Isaac, then there was like Wrath of the Lamb, Rebirth, and now Afterbirth. So Afterbirth is the newest DLC you can get on Steam. You can get the whole combo for like 10-15 bucks, something like that. It's really worth it. So what is Binding of Isaac? Basically, the general idea of this is it's kind of like a Zelda game from the original Legend of Zelda. You have these dungeon type passages basically you crawl through where you have different doors and enemies. You clear the room out, pick up items, then move on to the next room, ultimately ending in a boss at the end that allows you to go to the next floor. But really, it's way more than just that. So before I get into the theme of it, which is kind of its own little weird thing if you haven't noticed already by the gameplay in the background here, basically, as you go through the game, there's actually different like objectives and storyline that gets unlocked as you do more. So without really doing too many spoilers, basically after you kill a boss, you can go through and play as a different character and kill that boss and unlock different endings to cinematics or different items. And the whole idea is to go through the game many times to unlock different items with different characters and unlock new characters and all this different stuff that's there. So it's not so much one of those games where like you have to get 100% completion on type of thing. Like I'm not 100% completionist by any means, but it is really fun to continue to play over and over again. And then with this new DLC Afterbirth, they've just added a whole bunch of more stuff. So they actually have a mode called Greed Mode, which is like a mini game type thing where you just do waves and waves of enemies, survive as long as you can to beat the ultimate boss at the end. They have daily challenges now too. A lot of people do dailies, like Northern Lion. He's kind of the Binding of Isaac whiz for everything here. If you haven't heard of him, you can check out his channel. But basically, that's how the game works and everything too. So the objective is to just basically get to the end as far as you can in the game every single time and have these really awesome runs. The game itself has like each level in a set order, but they are randomly generated. So you kind of get a different run every time. And then the items that you get are random also. So you kind of pick up different items, but those items are randomly generated. So each run's going to be different. Sometimes you'll lose 30 times in a row. Sometimes you'll win 30 times in a row. Just depends on your luck. So it's really fun in that type of sense. The theme is a little bit weird. So basically, your name is Isaac. You are a kid who was shunned to the basement basically to escape your mom, who was going to murder you because she heard an angelic voice, or what she thought was God, talking to her, saying that to prove that you will do anything I ask, you need to kill your son because he's evil. Really weird. So as you go through the basement, it's a really strange thing. I kind of feel that as you go through the game, you're actually within Isaac's mind himself, and the other characters are actually all Isaac dressed up as different things, and there's also some really weird ones. I don't want to kind of spoil too much, but some really strange characters too that aren't really Isaac, but kind of like siblings maybe, or old siblings. We'll just leave it at that. Kind of freaky in some of that stuff too, like you shoot poop, and some of the enemies are hearts and stuff like that too. So it's like a really strange thing, but at the same time, really fun gameplay. So if you can get past all the kind of like grody, weird looking stuff that some adult content, it's a really fun game. So with that being said, that goes right into the visuals of it. The game is beautiful. I love the look of this game. I love the artwork and the style of it. Edmund and Florian, they're amazing. I mean, they do great work for sure. The Super Meat Boy inspiration can kind of be seen here a little bit as well. And then really, like I said, that just the way they kind of like lay out each room and everything has a purpose. It really looks good. There's levels called like Womb, for example, and you can see like the spongy inner material of your body. Like you really feel like you're going through some type of body piece or something like that. It's really crazy. On top of that, the audio is really great too. Like it just kind of really brings you into the game. I mean, all the characters and stuff like that, they make some kind of gross sounds sometimes, how the enemies fight and do things like that. But at the same time, like the general music is kind of this creepy, eerie feeling, like you really are kind of intense in the game. It plays so well to it. It's hard to explain unless you listen to it, but it's just really great. I love that part of it as well. As far as replayability, I've already talked about it some. I mean, you can just keep going over and over again, and every run you have will be different. So imagine playing Legend of Zelda, the original, but then every time you go into a dungeon, it's actually a different dungeon with different bosses possibly, different items that you're going to have to use throughout the time, and really adapt to that gameplay as you play through it. That's how it is, and then every time you unlock something new, it's just like, oh my gosh, now I got to try that item out. I don't know what it is, I have to try it out. There's a whole bunch of different mods and stuff available too at moddingofisaac.com. Some of them are cheat mode. I mean, you can do stuff like download invincibility. I have one on that like colorizes some of the scenes and stuff like that, so it's just a visual thing. And then I have one that adds like a little charge bar that you can see sometimes here too. So if an attack takes like a charge up type thing, it shows a bar above my head instead of just having to watch my character's animation. Just something visual for me to play a little easier or better, but it wouldn't be something that I would consider a cheat mode at all. Outside of that, there's not really like a huge multiplayer mechanic, but in the same time there kind of is. So there's nothing like competing against each other than the dailies, which you can compete on the leaderboard. However, there is a up to 4-player co-op. So basically one player is Isaac or whatever character you choose. The other 3 are like these, they call them babies, but it's like this floating familiar that can shoot out tears, which is the attack type and everything too. And you can actually play up to 4 players with controller, 1 on keyboard, 3 on controllers, that type of thing. It does have Steam controller support as well, which is awesome. And I mean, really, like, it's a lot of fun to just sit there and have those people drop in and out of gameplay without having to like really stop the whole game, exit everything out, and stuff like that. So it's literally just hit start, you drop in as a baby, you can start attacking stuff, hit start again, or hit B, I think it is, you back out of the game. So really, really cool that you can kind of do that drop-in gameplay and stuff like that. So it's a nice multiplayer aspect. It doesn't change the game, it's literally the same game, and that's why I kind of said at the beginning, multiplayer is there, but it's kind of not at the same time, because it's literally the exact same run you would have anyway. The baby just allows you to have someone else come in and also shoot, so it's just extra DPS in a way. Really, overall though, I don't see many drawbacks with this game. I mean, it's cheap, it's very fun, I've put in so many hours into it, and because every time you log into the game each day there's a new daily run now, it just adds even more that you can do, and I'm just going to come back at least for the daily every day, if not also to do a couple runs. Overall, I mean, I just think it's completely fantastic. The gameplay is amazing, I love it, it's such a weird game, it really is, but if you can get past kind of the weird creepiness of the whole visuals and stuff like that, which are amazingly done, they're just kind of weird how you have things like female body parts shooting blood at you. Yeah, that's a thing. When you get kind of past that part of it itself, it really is a great game with great visuals, great audio that draws you in, and again, that replayability to just want to keep on going, clearing floors, trying to beat it, and see what else you can unlock. Overall, I really do recommend this game. I'll have links down in the description to the game on Steam, as well as a combo pack that lets you get this Afterbirth DLC. And I'll also have links down to the main page for moddingofisaac.com, because I mentioned that too. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you check out my other review on Ultimate Chicken Horse, another great indie game that comes out in February. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks, have a great day.